AD says that her love is blind. And I'm like, no, sister, your love is not blind. Your love is foolish. Your love is desperate. Your love doesn't have sense, but your love is definitely not blind. Or maybe that's what makes your love blind, okay? Your love is blind because your love does not have sense, because I don't know. I find it hard to feel sorry for AD, but at the same time, I feel sorry for AD, okay? Anyway, today we are discussing Love is Blind season finale. That is episode 12, okay? So this episode showed us the end of the remaining 3 couples. So if you remember from the last episode, we had 3 couples left, which were Chelsea and Jimmy, AD and Clay, Johnny and Amy. Those are the 3 couples that we are going to be discussing now. It's quite funny how this season started with so many couples, and right now it's like, what's happening here? What's going on? Yeah, it's not ending well, but yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so we're starting from Chelsea and Jimmy, and let me just tell you guys, I was so happy for this part of the finale. Okay, I was so happy. You would think that Jimmy is my brother. Okay, so Jimmy and Chelsea, after they finished their merry-go-round last week, Jimmy was asking Chelsea where her head is at concerning what she's going to say at the altar. After she finished doing all her drama, she now said yes, that she totally sees herself getting married to him, that she feels like they are stronger after all they've been through. They are stronger, and she totally sees herself getting married to him. And then that was when Jimmy now drops the bomb that he loves her and all of that, but he doesn't want to go to the altar. Like, he's not going to the altar with her. And let me tell you guys something, okay? I was happy that Jimmy broke up with Chelsea. Oh, don't get me wrong. I was actually happy he broke up with Chelsea, because that relationship would have been a train wreck, okay? However, I was thinking that Jimmy was actually going to go to the altar and then say no at the altar. I feel like this season, maybe because of how things played out the last season, I feel like this season they allowed people to just get away easily from the show. Like, out of 5 couples, only 2 couples made it to the altar. But in previous seasons, what we usually see is that most couples make it to the altar and then they say no at the altar. But this time, only 2 couples made it to the altar, okay? I feel like they let them off easy, which also makes sense, because I personally don't like the fact that I will bring my friends and family for a wedding only for you to come and tell me no, okay? I don't like that part of the whole Love is Blind series. Like, I feel like the only couples that should make it to the altar are the couples that are sure that they're going to say yes. And if they eventually say no at the altar, let it be couples that tried their best and they got to the altar and said no, not the ones that are just coasting will not get there and say no, okay? Anyway, so I like the fact that Jimmy broke up with her, because that relationship was... Chelsea is emotionally abusive, okay? She's a gaslighter, she's abusive, she doesn't have sense. I don't even know why I laugh anytime I say someone or something does not have sense, okay? But seriously, Chelsea is just a very weird person, okay? She's a weird person, and I don't think that Chelsea is actually ready for marriage. She has a lot to go through, therapy and some other things, before she can say she's ready to get married, okay? However, I think that Chelsea's behavior is making us overlook the fact that Jimmy also... his head is not correct, okay? Jimmy's head is not correct, and I'll tell you why. Why are you trying to break up with somebody and you are telling the person that you love her to death, she's everything you've ever wanted in a wife, that every day she does everything you've ever wanted in a wife? Like, he's giving mixed signals. And one thing about Jimmy is that when Jimmy is saying what he's saying, even when he's showing her affection, which might be part of why Chelsea, acts unhinged sometimes, okay? When Jimmy is showing her affection, it doesn't really show on his face. Like, his words and his facial expression, his body language does not match. I don't know if that makes sense, okay? So he's telling her, oh, I love you so much, you are everything I've ever wanted in a wife, you're the best thing that happened to me, you're such an amazing person, I love you so much, I love you with all my heart, I love you to death. He's saying all of these things with his mouth, with his lips, but his facial expression, his eyes are not saying the same thing, okay? So I feel like that is part of why Chelsea is acting unhinged. I'm not saying that Chelsea doesn't have issues. However, I feel like her issues are being highlighted by the fact that Jamie is low-key a gaslighter at the same time, okay? It's just that Chelsea manifests her own more than Jimmy does, and because of how loud she is with her own issues, right? Because of how obvious it is, we tend to overlook some of Jimmy's own. Because why are you telling this person all these things with your words, but at the end of the day you now say, but I cannot see myself getting married to you? It doesn't make sense, okay? Let's just cut the crap, okay? Jimmy did not like Chelsea when they met physically. That's just the truth. He did not like Chelsea when they met physically. I remember I always said that, but at some point I was not like, Abby, this guy really likes Chelsea. When he was talking about his parents and all of that, I was like, Abby, this guy really likes Chelsea. He doesn't like Chelsea like that. However, I still give him props for not going to the altar, okay? It shows that deep down, somewhere in his heart, he's actually a good guy. For him not to go to the altar with Chelsea, it shows that, you know, he has some humanity in him. He didn't just want to go and embarrass her there at the altar and also embarrass himself and his family members, okay? Let's not even be looking at it as if it is just one-sided on whoever was told no, okay? The person that also says no is also embarrassing himself and his family, or herself and her family, by saying no. Like, if you knew you were going to say no, why you bring person to the altar? And don't give me that gist of, I didn't know what I was going to say until I stood at the altar. Come on, guys, sit down. Who are you giving that gist? Go and look for nursery children or toddlers and give that gist. Don't come here and be playing with our intelligence. Anyway, after Jimmy told Chelsea, she threw some tantrums again like a toddler. You don't tell me you didn't want me. You wasted my time. You did this one. There was something that Chelsea said and I was like, I was even happy the way Jimmy responded to her. Chelsea said that she's always walking on eggshells around Jimmy. Chelsea is walking on eggshells around Jimmy, that she's always afraid to tell him some things because he will get offended and start flaring up. Chelsea is saying this about Jimmy, and Jimmy was like, okay, like what? Okay, like what? Give me an example. I like the fact that he didn't just let that slide, okay? Because I'm sure she has been doing this to him so much that he was just fed up. He was like, okay, like, give examples, my dear sister. And she couldn't give any example, okay? She couldn't give any examples. He even said it that she's giving him more reasons to believe that he made the right choice. And one of the things he cited as the reason why he doesn't want to get married to her was because she brought up the thing he told her in confidence. When he told her that he has actually slept with one of his best friends, he told her behind the scenes and he told her not to say it on air, because he's the one that brought the girl to the show. He doesn't want to just air her dirty laundry, you know, on the show. And Chelsea broke that promise. She broke that trust in a big way. So that's part of the reason why he said he's not going to marry her, right? And Chelsea was trying to downplay that part. She was like, oh, so that means your deepest, darkest secret is that you effed your best friend. I'm like, yes, that can be somebody's deepest, darkest secret. It's not because it's not a big deal to you that it is not a big deal to the person, okay? Especially when it comes out on national TV. Now, there are some things that are not a big deal to me that if I tell my friend is okay, but if someone else hears that, then it's embarrassing for me, or I don't like it, okay? So it's not about your secret is not a big deal so I can tell anybody. No, if I tell you something in confidence, I expect you to keep it to yourself in confidence as well, even though in your head it's not a big deal. Leave it like that, okay? Leave it like that. Another thing he mentioned again, and I think I mentioned this part in my last analysis, when I said that Chelsea was telling Trevor so many things that if Jimmy had even tried it with Jessica, Chelsea would have gone haywire, okay? Now, Jimmy said that Chelsea FaceTimed her ex-boyfriend the day they got their phones back. Even me, with people that I actually like, I don't call them on video call all the time. Like, for me to call you on video call, I must like you. Like, for us to actually talk on video call, I must like you very well. I don't just video call even my random friends, okay? So when she was like, no, it's not the same thing, I'm like, your own is even worse. And again, this her ex-boyfriend is a recent ex-boyfriend. So what are you saying? Anyway, that's it about Chelsea and Jimmy. Now, the next part they showed was the bachelorette and the groom's party. Is that what they call it? Stag day, stag night, stag party, whatever. Anyway, they showed the two brides, that's Amy and AD, going for their bachelorette party, and then the two grooms, Clay and Johnny, going for their groom's party, okay? Now, at the girls' party, they were so happy, they were so excited. AD was dancing, she was so happy, like you could tell that AD was having the time of her life. She was so excited. Amy as well. Amy was really having fun. They really danced, they really had fun. There was a part where AD and Amy were discussing, and then Amy told AD that she hasn't done the deed yet with Johnny, and AD was so surprised. She was so shocked, like, she even said that she does not believe that Amy has not done it yet, that Amy is just trying to be coy with her. That's for her, AD, there's no way she can buy the car without testing it, yada yada yada. Let me tell you guys something, that thing is something. Anyway, let me not go into it, but me personally, I feel like you can actually buy the car without testing it, okay? Because sometimes even after you test the car can still break down, okay? The car can still break down and break down indeed for AD, but the car can still break down. So it doesn't matter whether you test the car or not. There are other ways to know whether you and somebody are going to be compatible sexually, okay? And for me, being compatible is, are you both willing to explore the same things? Do you guys both want the same things? I mean, out of the sex, do you guys both want the same things? Are you guys willing willing to learn? Are you willing to sacrifice for each other? Are you willing to try and please each other? That for me is what compatibility should be all about. It shouldn't be about whether you guys enjoy sex before marriage, okay? Because most times what we see happens is that before marriage, a lot of men are just having sex for the sake of having sex. They don't even care about the person they're having sex with, okay? That's just the truth. So that does not really say whether or not you are going to enjoy sex in your marriage. I have so much to say about sexual compatibility and having sex before you get married, but let's just leave that one for a different conversation. Let me go back to my notes. I'm trying to follow these things the way it happened instead of couple by couple, okay? So they also show Clay and Johnny at their own party, and then Clay is telling his brothers and his friends about AD, about how he knows that AD is always going to be there for him, how he will go to war with AD, okay? Clay said he will go to war with AD, not for her. He won't go to war for her. He will go to war with her, okay? That he's ready to lead her in this thing called life, that she puts up with him. Struggle love. The guy just described struggle love. Like, I was feeling so embarrassed for AD. I felt so sad for her. Like, what in the struggle love is happening here? Everything he was describing, oh, she puts up with my behavior. You know, I'm not an easy person to put up with. You know, I have this. I'm kind of selfish, but AD is always there. AD stands by me. AD has my back. AD rides for me. So because she rides for me, I will ride with her. He never said, oh, I love AD with all my heart. I want what's best for her. AD is such a great woman. I can't wait to protect her. I can't wait to love her. I can't wait to show her the world. I can't wait to give her the world. You know, he doesn't say things like that. He's always talking about what she can do for him or what she does for him. Sis, that's not your man, okay? That's not your man, but let's just continue. Like, his friends are actually surprised that he's that kind of person, and they are saying he has grown so much. I don't know how he has grown so much. I don't know what the growth is. To me, I don't see anything that's Clay has really done that I'll say, okay, oh, he has grown so much, he has really changed, he's now here for the right reasons, he's here for... No, I'm not seeing any of that, but okay. Another thing that he just kept saying is that, oh, he loves this moment, he loves the he loves the experience more than the person he got out of the experience, okay? He loves the fact that he was part of the whole Love is Blind thing. Personally, I feel like Clay was just there to grow his social media following and basically to grow his business, okay? That's the only reason why Clay came on this show, because it is obvious to everybody that has eyes that Clay is not ready to get married, okay? It's very, very obvious. And I forgot to mention this. On Clay's vision board, okay? On his vision board, he had TikTok on it. I saw somebody point this out in a video a long time ago. On Clay's vision board, there was TikTok on it, okay? Like, I don't know who puts TikTok on vision board when you are not a content creator on TikTok or anywhere. Like, if you're not a content creator, why is TikTok on your vision board, okay? So I still believe 100% that Clay was just trying to dabble into social media and was like, good opportunity to come and grow my following. That's it. He wasn't there for the right reasons, and it was clear to everybody except AD. Then we move on to the weddings. So Clay arrived for the wedding. AD also arrived for the wedding. AD has a very beautiful body, okay? She has a very beautiful body. I won't really consider her extremely pretty when it comes to her face, okay? But she has a very nice body, right? So she was doing her makeup, getting ready. Her mom came in. Her mom said she met Clay's mom and that, you know, Clay's mom is such a solid one that if she was to choose who will be AD's mother-in-law, she would have chosen Clay's mom, okay? But AD's mom is very pretty, like even facially, body-wise, AD's mom is very, very pretty. All her siblings, all her sisters, everybody, they are all, even the one that was very chubby, her body was still set. Like, they all have fine body in that house, okay? And I think it's from the mom's genes, because the mom has a very nice body. So yeah, they were all talking, and AD was gushing about Clay so much. They asked AD if she thinks he's going to be a good husband and a good father, and she said, oh, he's going to be a great daddy or something like that. Anyway, she was just gushing about him, about how Clay is so handsome, he's so this, he's chocolate, he's this, he's that, he's dependable, she trusts him with all her heart. I'm just like, is it the same Clay? Maybe the editors of this show removed some vital information from the show that's making us see Clay the way we are seeing Clay, but I don't understand what it is gushing about, because you even said with your mouth that the guy does not even like coming back home. He doesn't affirm you. He has told you in more ways than one that he's not ready to get married to you, that he doesn't like you like that, okay? I don't know why AD is still gushing about. It's almost like she's living in a parallel universe, okay? It's almost like, I remember discussing this thing with my sister, and my sister was saying, why is that AD's mom is not even talking sense into AD. And I was like, you won't blame her. Most of what she knows, she's getting it from AD. So if your daughter is feeding you with false information, that is what you are going to go off of, okay? Like AD's mom is not watching the show like us to know behind the scenes or to know that, okay, these things AD is saying is not the way she's saying it, right? So for the most part, AD's mom is going off of what AD is saying, and also Clay is also a smooth talker, okay? When you meet Clay, he's also a smooth talker. So I don't really blame the mom for not knocking sense into her child, okay? AD goes on to say that Clay is such a protector and a provider, and those are the two things that she's looking forward to, or she looks for in her man: a provider and a protector, and Clay is all of that. And I'm like, okay, sis. So then we go to Clay's suite, and Clay is with his father. His father came to see him. We now finally get to see the father that Clay has been talking about since day one. The cheating father, the philandering father, the infidelity trip father. We get to see the guy. The guy looks good. Yeah, you can just tell that, oh, now I get it. I get where he gets his, his riz from. Even though I don't think he has that much riz. I think his father is actually quite rizful, okay? Charismatic. The father is very suave, like those kind of people that are very, those kind of people. If you guys get it, you get it, right? Clay's father is that kind of person, a smooth talker, just knows the right things to say. Even though at some point I was like, okay, you're just blabbing. What are you saying? Like he went on and on about how he was supposed to make pro football, he was supposed to be a pro athlete. That is the father himself, but he now had an injury. Clay is this, Clay is that. Almost it's not even almost. It was quite performative, all the things that he was saying and the way that he was saying it, okay? You can just tell that this guy is just someone that is so self-centered and is so conscious of trying to come across a certain way, trying to paint a picture to the audience, okay? I was even expecting the father to give Clay some kind of marital advice, be good to her, be this, be that. I could just tell that Clay has told his father, I'm not marrying this girl, okay? Just come for the wedding. Let not be as if that you do not come, but I'm not marrying this girl. That's what I feel, Sha. Because the father did not bother to give him like marital advice. Yes, I know that the father, was a cheater and all of that, but he should have given his son some kind of advice, even if it's to discourage your son. Something should have come out of your mouth concerning the marriage and the wedding itself, or, this kind of important decision in his life. Like he didn't even ask him, are you sure you love her? Are you sure you want to go through with this? Are you sure you're ready to commit to her? I made some mistakes in my life, normal thing that another person should say. He didn't say any of that. I was just like, okay, you just think it's two team members that are about to go and do their pro football, I've been a pro running or whatever Clay does, right? You think that's what they were. Like it wasn't like a father and son kind of relationship to an extent, okay? Especially for a wedding. Then we see Clay's mom. Clay's mom is such a beautiful soul. I really felt bad for Clay's mom in this episode. Like I really felt bad for Clay's mom. Anyway, time for the weddings. AD walks down the aisle alone. I didn't like that part. Like, couldn't her mother have walked down the aisle with her? Like, she walked down the aisle alone. It's almost like everybody's like it's almost as if everybody was saying, since you want to be DELULU, okay, you want to be delusional, be DELULU on your own. Walk down the aisle on your own to this guy who clearly doesn't like you, okay? Clay is so self-centered. Even the parts where he was entering with his mom, because his mom walked him down the aisle, he kept saying, how do you feel seeing my name up there? Your name is there because it's your wedding. Like, it's not like your name is on the Hall of Fame something or whatever. Like, it's not like your name is in the Guinness World Book of Record or the Guinness Book of World Record. Like, it's your wedding. So, of course, your name is going to be there. Eddie's name is also there. And he's telling his mom, how do you feel seeing my name up there? Huh? The guy is just so self-centered. So when Eddie was walking down the aisle, you could just see Clay looking at her. He wasn't like moved or anything. He was just looking at her, just smiling. Then while she was approaching him, he now said, okay, buddy, your body is so hot. Not, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Oh, wow. Not even, wow, you're so beautiful. Oh my goodness, I love you so much. Not even, oh, you look so gorgeous. Okay, buddy. At your big age. At your big age. These people are not toddlers. So these people are not Gen Z. I don't know. Are they Gen Z? They're not Gen Z now. I think Clay is 30 and AD is 32. They are not Gen Z. Okay, buddy. Then Eddie was like, can you see the material? I know she was nervous, but I was cringing hard at that part. Can you see the material? Anyway, she got on the stage and they talked about each other again. Eddie had beautiful things to say about Clay. He's so beautiful. He's so this, he's so that. Clay was just talking about how she writes for him, how she dies for him, how she bombs herself for him. Just talking about everything she does for him. Then there was one part that made me say, oh my goodness, when the officiating minister, or the person that was, marrying them, so the guy was saying that looks, age, finances was not a factor for you too. Okay? And Clay responded with, I didn't say all that. Even though he said it jokingly, like, I didn't say all that, but I was like, huh? Like, time and place, dude. Time and place. Like, can't you keep some things in your head? Okay, you didn't say all that, but okay. Anyway, if we really think about it though, he knew he was going to say no, so everything was a joke to him at that point. But yeah, like, that was really heartbreaking for me to hear. He was even talking about, when you're talking about AD, he was saying that he didn't want to choose anybody without seeing what the person looks like. But when he eventually saw AD, he was like, okay, I can work with that. Okay, I can work with that, is what you're saying about. Anyway, let me not even jump. Okay, so eventually AD says yes, she's going to marry him, and Clay says no. Okay, gave her a speech about how it's going to be irresponsible for him to say no, which I agree with. Okay, don't get me wrong, I actually agree with the fact that he said no. He should never have said. In fact, if he had said yes, I would have been dumbfounded. I would have been shocked to my bones. Okay, so yes, it would have been irresponsible for him to say yes. Okay, he gave the right answer by saying no to her. Okay, AD, if you don't want to have sense, it's a good thing that Clay is having sense for the both of you, and Clay is actually sensible enough to say no, because I know that AD would have just married the guy for no reason. Okay, for no reason. Give me one reason why she's going to marry the guy now. No reason whatsoever. So I'm actually happy that he said no. And AD was so shocked. She was like, Clay, what the fuck? Like, she was so shocked. She was like, what the fuck? She was really shocked. And I'm like, why are you shocked? You're shocked? You're shocked? Okay, she's actually very, very delusional to actually think that Clay loves her enough to marry her. Like, why? Okay, so after saying no to her, he was then saying, but why does the timeline even matter? Why, does it matter when they get married? That, it's be irresponsible for him to say yes at this time, because he's not really, really sure that he cannot decide to marry her off of the 2 weeks that they've had, this and that and this and that. So she walked off the stage to her suite, where she went to cry. Her family members followed her as well, telling her, oh my God, he wasted your time. He's not the guy for you. She was like, when will I ever be enough? When will I ever be enough? So they now gave her some space. She was now alone in there crying. And then Clay decided to go there. The father was proud of Clay, basically. I'm proud of you. That's maturity. For the mother, you could tell, that is Clay's mother, you could tell that she was sad, but she was actually relieved that her son made the right choice, because she knows that her son is not ready to get married. That one she knows as well, and she knows some of the reasons why he's not ready to get married. Okay, then Clay goes to meet AD. I remember him saying, should he even go there? Then the father was like, yeah, you don't want to look indifferent. Okay, basically men that just know how to act drama, that's just what him and his father are. You don't want it to look like you are indifferent or apathetic. I can't remember the exact word he said, indifferent or apathetic, but basically we're just trying to say, for optics sake, go and meet her. So he went to meet AD. AD was crying. She was now whispering, I feel like I was the sacrifice for you to learn all the things that you learned, because Clay kept saying, oh, he has learned so much through this process. He has become a better man. He has become this. He has become that. And AD was saying that, oh, she feels like she was the sacrifice for that. She was not telling him that, but why is it that she's never enough? And Clay was now saying, oh, no, it's not about you. I'm not saying no to you. It's because I am not ready for marriage. That I'm not saying we shouldn't get married just now. We need to be really, really sure before we jump into it. I'm not rejecting you. See, God forbid that I ever open my mouth and tell a man, why is it that I'm not enough? Who you be? Who is your father in the army that I will open my mouth and say, why is that I'm not enough for you? Enough for you how? Like, I am more than enough. In fact, I am too much for you. I am too hey God, that part irritated my soul. I am too much for you. In fact, you are nothing. God forbid that my children or anybody that I know opens their mouth and tells a man, why am I not? Like, basically you're begging him. You're trying to say, oh, I did all my best, but you couldn't choose me. Come on, get out. Come on, guys, sit down. Women, please know your worth. Even if you think it, don't say it to a man. Even if you think it, even to this day, I still hype myself in my marriage. I still hype myself. The other day I was telling my husband, how does it feel to be married to me? Like, I can't even imagine how it feels to be married to such a wonderful, amazing person. Like, I want to know how, I know how it is to be married to you as my husband. I want to know how it feels to have me as a wife. My husband is actually tired of such talk, okay? So he was just like, oh, it's just amazing, yeah, whatever. Like, I could tell that guy don't tire. But I was hyping myself, okay? Because you need to hype yourself in this day and age. If you don't hype yourself, they're going to forget. Men actually forget. They actually get used to you, okay? They actually see finish enters. You need to hype yourself. You need to remind them of what they have in case they want to forget, okay? So why are you even putting it in his head that you are not enough? No, you are more than enough. You are too much. You are actually too much. Period. You like to say period. Period. You're actually too much, girl. Period. Anyway, so her and Clay talks, then he left. And then when he left, I think they were asking her, and she said that she's not going to continue with him, that, you know, she's done. If he couldn't see her worth, then somebody else will. And me personally, I don't believe AD, okay? I don't believe AD. I see AD as someone that Clay would just, because even the way she was kissing him, even the way she was calm, talking to him and kissing him inside her suite, it just shows that her heart is still there. If I were the one that was just dumped at the altar, I would have given the guy an earful, especially since I know that he knew he was not going to get married, okay? He knew. I would have given him an earful, but she was so understanding, so quiet, even whispering, was just kissing him, hugging him, all those things. I'm like, ew. I don't think we've ever seen any couple like that before. We've not seen any couple that just said no at the altar and then afterwards they're kissing, they're hugging, they're doing all of that rubbish. I don't think I've seen any couple like that in the whole 6 seasons, okay? So yeah, I don't believe that AD will not continue with Clay. I feel like she will still date Clay. Clay will now cheat on her and then dump her. Not that he will cheat and she will dump him, or no. Clay will still cheat on her and he will be the one to dump her. That is what I feel, because as much as Clay has his own faults, AD has her own faults as well. I feel like AD is just desperate. She even said it, that when it's going to be her turn, I was like, sister, you did not watch Mr. Tisa, You did not watch Mr. Tisa. Go and learn from Tisa. Hey, it can be worse, okay? It can be worse. You think that being single at 32 is such a big deal? It can get worse, my sister. So don't be saying that about, oh, my turn. Yes, I know that every woman, not every woman, but I know that most women long to have their own family, their own love, their own person and children. I know, okay? I know that is a longing for so many women, right? However, don't be so desperate to the point where you ignore all the signs. This girl even opened her mouth and said that there is nothing that Clay would have said that would have made her say no at the altar. Isn't that the height of desperation? Like, I've not seen anybody that desperate on this show. Isn't that the height? That there's nothing that the guy would have said to you to make you say no at the altar. So at that point, I'm like, your love is not blind. Your love is actually not blind. It's not like you didn't hear the things that he said to you. It's not like you couldn't see all the signs. You could see them, but you chose to go ahead irrespective of all those signs, okay? So at the end of the day, your love is not blind. Your love is just desperate. Your love is just not out there. Your love is a mental case, okay? Your love is a mental case. Then we see Clay's parents talking to each other. Clay's mom is telling Clay's dad that he has to go and meet his son, talk to him and apologize, because he's the reason why, or he's part of the reason why Clay carried some baggage down the aisle. You know, she was just basically telling him that there are some things that he did as a father that made Clay afraid of marriage. He's questioning if marriage is truly sacred, and that is part of why Clay said no. So the father owes Clay an apology. He needs to just go and apologize to Clay. He shouldn't try to justify things. He should just go and apologize to Clay. And then the father was saying, oh yeah, he understands, but you know, he didn't have good role models. He even got teary-eyed, like he actually, you know, cried a little bit that, you know, he didn't have good role models, this and that. And then the mom was not even having it, okay? She wasn't having, you could tell that she has dealt with this foolishness for so long that she wasn't having it. She was like, yes, many of us are broken, but we don't have to extend it to our children as well, okay? It should stop with you. And he agreed with her, actually. It should stop with you, okay? So if you know that some things that you're doing is actually bad, then don't transfer it to your children. Just because you didn't have role models doesn't mean that you should not. And it's basically the same thing that Clay is trying to do, okay? It's basically the same excuse that Clay is trying to give. I think I was even telling my sister this, right? I feel like Clay is just using all these things as an excuse. Even the thing he's telling about his father cheated, all those things are just excuses that he's giving to try and get away from marrying AD, because Clay does not see AD like that. Clay was not in love with AD. He said with his mouth anyway that is he deeply in love? No. So Clay, when he saw AD, he was not really attracted to AD. He never really called her beautiful. I think the only time I heard him call her her beautiful was at the altar, okay? That was the only time he called her beautiful, and he said it just once, and that was it, okay? And so Clay was not really in love with AD, and the kind of person that I feel like Clay wants and Clay will be in love with is somebody that is more than him in every way, shape and form, okay? Someone that is very, very beautiful and way, way good looking than he is. Again, like I said, AD is a beautiful girl, but she's not that pretty, okay? Especially facially, she's not that pretty. She has a nice body, she's not that pretty, okay, is my opinion. So he needs somebody that is very, very extremely pretty, maybe even racially ambiguous, okay? Those kind of women that look racially ambiguous and are very, very beautiful. Those are the kind of people that Clay is looking for. Clay also needs a woman who is very rich and very popular. He wants a superstar, someone that will make him look good. That's what Clay is looking for. You can tell that he's very, very concerned about his image, how he looks, you know, the kind of eye candy that he's going to be with. That is what Clay likes. He likes when he has a girl that everybody is falling for, okay? So I think that part of the reason why he even chose AD was because, number one, he didn't have any other matches and he wanted to be on the show, and then number two, there was Matthew in the picture, and it was like, me and him are fighting for a girl. Anyway, I really felt sorry for Clay's mom, because what a way for your dirty laundry to be aired. Not so much for his dad, even though the dad is the one with the dirty laundry, but I felt bad for the mom, because it's almost like your son used you as excuse. Instead of him to just admit that he doesn't like AD like a normal human being, he decided to use that story so that he would just be on the show for longer. Now, there is something that AD said. She said that she is tired of carrying relationships. She's tired of putting her all in relationships. She's tired of being the one to carry the relationships, and then these men still leave her, okay? They still don't see her worth and all of that. And I'm wondering, why is it that she's not saying that you don't have to carry any relationship? As a woman, if any man is pursuing you, he is the one that is supposed to carry the relationship. I don't know how else to tell people this thing, okay? The man is the one that is supposed to be more enthusiastic about. I'm not saying you should not like the guy back, or you should like him back, you should love him back and all of that, but he should be the one that the thing is doing as if he doesn't have you, he's going to die, okay? Not the other way around, okay? Not the other way around. So it's obvious that she's attracting the same type of man because she's giving out the same type of energy, okay? She's giving out desperado vibes, and she's giving out, I'm ready to take anything just to be with you. And at the end of the day, the funny thing is that at the end of the day, those men that you bend over backwards for will not still want you. They will still go to that woman that doesn't send them. They will still go to that woman who has her standards and is not ready to tolerate your nonsense. Because Clay even said it that before now, no woman had accepted his flaws the way AD does, okay? What does that tell you? It tells you that these men know these things, okay? They know that you are there and you're not going anywhere no matter what they do to you. So as you lay your bed, you're gonna lie on it. So let's move on to the last couple, Amy and Johnny, the last couple standing basically. Amy and Johnny. Even though as well, I do not like AD's dress. AD has a nice body, but her dress was just looking too cheap and overly sexual for my liking. Like the dress was just too revealing, boobs out, legs out, like he had everything going on for it and nothing going on at the same time, okay? So I didn't really like AD's dress, but I didn't like Amy's dress as well. But Amy's dress fits her, like it fits her personality. So yeah, even Eddie's one fits her personality as well, because she likes to be very sexual, so it fits her personality as well. Anyway, but yeah, Johnny and Amy had a very beautiful wedding. Her brother and her father walked her down the aisle. See, these things is very important to fathers. You people have a very important role to play in your daughter's lives, okay? If you see a girl who has a very active father in her life, or father figure, not just a father, if you see a girl that has a very active, a very caring, a very conscious father figure in her life, she know they make mistake, okay? She know they settle for nonsense. But you see those ones that don't have father figure, or you see those ones that just, you know, deadbeat dads, or that have deadbeat dads, something always goes wrong with them, okay? Anyway, not always, but a lot of times things go wrong with those ladies, especially in relationships. They might be killing it in every other aspect of their lives, but when it comes to relationships, most of those ladies are usually struggling, or they usually struggle, right? So Johnny's sister was in Amy's suite when she was getting married, and you know, it was so beautiful. Amy's friend was saying that she dreamt that Amy called her on FaceTime and was telling her that she is marrying a blonde man, a blonde white man. And remember that Amy's father said he dreamt that Amy had 2 blonde white kids, okay? So it was just so beautiful, them having all those confirmation. And Johnny's sister really likes Amy. You can tell that Johnny's sister is more excited for Amy than even Johnny himself, okay? And trust me, he's very excited for her, but his sister is so enamored by Amy. Okay, so they're so beautiful. She walked down the aisle with her brother with special needs, and her husband. Like, it was really heartwarming for me watching that part. Like, I almost got teary-eyed, but you guys know me now, Obiakpo. I could not cry, but I felt something in my soul. Okay, and yeah, so they walked down the aisle. We already knew they were going to say yes, so they both said yes, and they had a beautiful wedding afterwards. Her father was so teary-eyed, but you could tell that her father was very involved, and he has actually accepted Johnny as his son. It was so beautiful. And yeah, that's the end of the season. Okay, that was the last episode. We are waiting for the reunion, which is going to be next week, Wednesday. I can't wait. I cannot wait for that reunion. Initially, I didn't want to film this video now. I wanted to wait till next week and just add everything to the reunion, but I feel like that reunion is going to be very long, and I wanted to just point out some things in this finale. Okay, yeah, so they showed Clay leaving, showed AD leaving. Clay was like, he can't wait to leave this place. And it's so funny how, if you watch Clay before the wedding and after the wedding, two different people. Okay, two different people, two different mouths. Before the wedding, he was sounding like, oh, positive. After the wedding, he was like, he can't wait to leave here. He even said something about he's not sure about her finances. No wonder he said it on stage. Okay, he said he's not sure about her finances. That marriage is also a financial investment. He's not sure about her finances. I was like, look at you, they look woman pockets, rubbish. You dey look woman purse. I mean, I understand that, yeah, things like debts in a marriage can be a big deal. Like, if AD is coming in with some debts, it could be a big deal. But the question is, what were you guys discussing the whole 2 weeks? What were you guys talking about the whole 2 weeks? Like, did they not discuss their finances? He said he's not too sure about her finances. Okay, I understand that, but it didn't even sound like they had that conversation before. So they also showed AD still crying, feeling bad, saying that she cannot continue with Clay. He said, lie, she's going to continue with Clay. He's going to be the one to dump her. I can't wait to hear the full tea during the reunion. Hopefully they spill the tea, because AD seems to have more energy for other people's relationship than her own relationship. Okay, so I'm hoping that Clay has broken her heart in such a way that she will come to this reunion and just air everything out. Okay, because Clay himself is good at sugarcoating things as well. So I can't wait. But that's it. That is LIB Love is Blind season 6 episodes 1 to 12. If you haven't watched my other videos about it, you can go ahead and watch them. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.